What up, party people? Welcome to Drinking Alone with Friend, a podcast where two friends drink alone together. My name's Tud.
And I'm Obert, and welcome back. And I can definitively say, before we started the recording, I did see Simba sit. It's a real thing that he can do.
See? He learned. He's a good cat.
I didn't get a picture of it, but it definitely happened.
Yep, I said sit, and he sits right down, just like a good cat dog.
Mm-hmm. And Chris is still out this week, so you know what that means. We're still in the triple tally mark territory. So it's anybody's game this week. Anybody can become the leader on the board, except for Chris, who's not here.
Even if it was triple points, it's still not possible for you to pass me.
No, I meant you triple the points that you have and the point that you would get. That's what I meant.
Oh, gotcha.
Unless you're already in the lead, and then you take a third of the points.
I don't think that's how that works.
Well, we'll find out when we get there.
True, but I actually kind of hope that you win this week, so you can get on the board a little bit. Because I'm a nice friend.
There we go. Well, I wanted to do a cocktail, but my blender hasn't come in yet. I'm hoping next episode, which you're going to be here soon. But I think we might have something a little special for when we have all three of us back together. But I'm hoping to bring some cocktails back. That's what I want to do. I wanted to do it tonight, but I'm gonna have to wait maybe a week for when my blender gets here. So
I'm hoping that you have a blender for when I'm there, so you can make me a nice mixed drink. Because I know that you are the mixed drink master, and I am not. So.
I am the mixologist of the pod, but I also have had a couple beers from Fremont saved for you for when you show up, Todd.
You think I'm just going to drink one drink the entire time that I'm there?
No, but it's a good point. We'll see what we got.
Okay.
But happy birthday, America, by the way.
Yes. I think I have something for this, Obert.
But I don't know about you, Ted. I got a patriotic beer to celebrate this week.
Okay. Well, why don't you lead us in?
Yeah. So this is from Imagination. Emphasis on the nation this episode, and it's a beer called Homegrown, and it's a farm fresh pale ale. It's canned just under a month ago. By the time you're listening to this, and it's supports the Community Food and Agricultural Coalition. So I think they give some of their money back to that coalition. So that's always cool. Some nice artwork of some barnyard animals and some bison on the range. And there's some muffins with a bowl of soup. Just a lot of homegrown stuff on here to celebrate all the stuff that we grow in Montana, I guess. There's some bees harvesting some honey. So we got a little bit of everything. A little bit of all the stuff that we grow in Montana on this can. Some pretty cool can art here.
That's pretty neat. That seems like a cool can and a cool concept, and hopefully it's a good beer.
Yeah, and we're big fans of Imagination on the pod. I haven't had them for a while, but I couldn't stay away for all that long. They're definitely the best brewery in the 3 hour region around me. So let's crack open this farm fresh pale ale. See how it is. See how farm fresh it really is. Looks like a nice crispy pale ale.
30, and I'm thirsty. I've been working like a dog all week long, so maybe something cold won't hurt me. Cause it's beer 30, and it's time to party. Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Woohoo! Yeehaw! That's American,
this
right?
Smells. That's very American. This smells so hoppy. This smells like a nice juicy IPA. I don't know what this pale ale business they're talking about. This puts the I in IPA, I think, but it's an American version, so not Indian. It's got 4 pounds per barrel of Citra, Strata, and Comet from Bell Crossing Farms. So locally sourced hops, and I'm a big fan of Citra. I think we all are here on the pod. So I'm going to just dig in. Oh man, this is everything I miss about East Coast IPAs. This is so good. This is just like a Citra bomb. This is really juicy. Definitely not. I wouldn't say it's a pale ale. This is definitely an IPA. It's really good.
Okay.
5.5%. So
Crushable.
crushable. Well, crushable by ABV, but not by body. This is a little too heavy a little too dank, I think, for holding in one hand while you throw your cornhole bag in the other.
Or drive your tractor.
Yeah, there we go. Don't drink and drive tractors. No, I'm loving this though. Just that bright floral deliciousness. Lots of straight goodness. You get that lemony, citrusy, star fruity, some on this podcast might say, flavor. Yeah, just dank, citrusy, floralness. It's really good.
It's got a good color.
It is. It's not super bright. It's unfiltered hazy, kind of more of that golden straw color we talk about. Just like a little bit on that paler side. Man, I'm gonna finish this before Jordan can tell me to drink. I think that's what's gonna happen here. But I'm liking this. This is gonna get the rare 4.5 from me. This is
Wow.
I really like their I forget what it's called, the lupu juice that they do. But this is one of their best IPAs that I've had. I've had a couple of other ones lately. I really am enjoying the farm grown, and I like being able to support local farms. That's cool too. So good job, Imagination. 4.5. Keep doing all the good work.
Okay. So out of 37 check-ins, what do you think the Untapped Diverse thinks of this?
That's a tough one. You know, it's tough when we have this few check-ins. I'd say anything under 50 doesn't count, but it is triple point week. So, man, I think they're going to like it. I think they're going to give it a 4.15.
So you are close. Obert, you actually might get a tally mark tonight. This is it's exciting.
Putting pressure on.
4.12.
Okay, 0.03 off.
So that is
it's funny. I almost said 4.12, but you know what? I didn't. So
see, what I've learned is I think you have to talk out the thought process, and then perfect scores just pop out of your head.
That's the trick we learned last week. So, but okay, 37 people.
37. So you're the 38th person.
Yeah.
If you actually check it in.
I'll do it right now. I'll get that number 38. But no, they're right though. It's a good beer. Imagination, you really can't go wrong. I stocked up on them recently. I had their guava milkshake double IPA. It was a little much for me. I think it was called Nebula. That one was just a little too much. Their other summer beer, I think it's called like Sunburst or Summerfest. I don't know, something like that. It's got a big sun. It's got a big sun on the label.
Sip of sunshine.
It looks kind of like that, except it's more orangey. That one was good too, but both of them pale in comparison to this one. I'm definitely going to go back and pick up another 4-pack before they get sold out. So
perfect. Hopefully you make it back before they're gone.
Yeah, I'd be so sad if they were sold out.
All right.
But yeah, Happy America Day in the past. Hope everybody had a good 4th of July. And Ted, do you have an especially American beer to celebrate with us tonight?
I do. When I was looking for something that was very America themed, open up my fridge, digging around, digging. I'm just, hands getting all icy from all the coldness that I was digging through, and I found a beer that I bought around this time last year, and I meant to bring it to the podcast, and I never made it. So I'm bringing it now, and
okay.
It is. I think it's actually so old. Like I said, it's about a year old. I think that the brewery that made this beer has actually had to change the name of the beer. And once I tell you why, you'll understand. Or once I tell you the name of the beer, you'll understand. So this is Bomb Pop by Alvarium, and I believe that either somebody didn't like the name Bomb, or the company that actually makes Bomb Pops sent a cease and desist, because I believe it's now I believe it's now called Rocket Pop or something like that. Rocket Bang, I don't know, something. It's not this anymore.
So what is a Bomb Pop?
So a Bomb Pop is one of those popsicles that's red on the top, white in the middle, and blue on the bottom. You see like kids running around that, like they eat them and like they turn different colors and stuff like that.
Classic ice cream truck popsicle.
Correct. It's exactly what you expect on the 4th of July to see kids running around in the backyard covered in sticky nastiness.
Popsicle juice.
Yes, popsicle juice. So this is a popsicle style fruited sour. It weighs in at 4.8% ABV. As I said, it's by Alvarium, and the can says nothing because it does not explain what it is.
It says brewed with cherry. I saw that.
Yeah, I'm just trying to. It does not say brewed with cherry. Oh yeah, brewed with cherry, raspberry, and lime. So Obert, you saw better than I did, but it does not say. It does not say.
Which I think that's the 3 flavors of the bomb pop, right?
Yes, yeah. Cherry would be the red, blue would be the raspberry, and lime would be the white.
Yeah, I like the white the best, I think.
I think so too. It also doesn't stain your teeth or your tongue.
Yeah. Or your hands with all the sticky popsicle juice.
Or your hands. So let's crack this open and see what we get. By the way, as always, Alvarium invites you to come down to their brewery for a crisp high five for being awesome, for buying their beer. And now that we're past the worst of COVID so far for this year, they are back to giving out high fives.
That's awesome. That's great to hear. Now, I don't think you're supposed to keep sours for a year.
I don't think so either.
This would be the first one I think that I've seen kept for this long.
Well, I can tell you this: we're already off to a better start because the beer's not exploding over me like it was last week. So, 0.1 to this beer. All right, so I will hold this up. It is very carbonated.
Oh, those are bubbles?
Those are bubbles.
Okay.
It could be dirty glass, but I don't think it's a dirty glass. It looked very clean before I poured it in there, but yeah, those are bubbles. No discernible head. It kind of just faded away, and it is a cherry colored purple.
Kind of what you'd expect from a sour.
Yeah, and it's got some floaties floating around in it. And if you like my fancy treehouse Pilsner glass that I have here, head over to Instagram if you are curious to know what the can art looks like, to see that wonderful bomb pop that's on it. Also to see a can that doesn't exist anymore. And to see this cool glassware that I got from Brad, who was cleaning out his glass collection and was like, hey, you want this cool looking treehouse glass? And I was like, yes, I do. So just added another glass to my collection. All right, on the nose, it smells very, very sour, very tart, like a tart cherry. Which is what I expect based on the look. Very cherry, very tart, very much like a normal sour. I don't smell any offness from it aging a year, which is probably good for me. But it smells a little sweet and a little tangy, so let's dive in and try it. All right, so it's definitely a sour. A little less tart than last week's beer, but still definitely a sour. It's very heavily flavored in cherry. It definitely has a little bit of I want to say cinnamon, coriander type spice to it on the back end too. Like it kind of tastes like a cherry pie almost, but like a tart cherry pie.
It sounds like you are not describing a bomb pop right now.
Yeah, no, that's not what I'm getting. I'm getting a lot of it. Basically, like if they would have told me that this was a cherry pie flavored sour, I would have said yes, it is a cherry pie flavored sour.
That I can believe.
Yeah, the tartness is really coming from the lime, I think, and obviously that it's brewed as a sour. But I don't taste any lime. Not like last week where the lime was very front and forward in the flavor. Maybe a little bit of raspberry. Maybe the raspberries give it a little bit of that tartness too. But I'm not getting a lot of raspberry flavor. This is very overpoweringly cherry, which is not a bad thing. And then I don't know where that other like spiciness, and not spicy like hot, but where that other cinnamon nutmeg flavor comes from. I don't know quite where that's coming from.
Not spiciness, but spiceness.
Yes. Yeah. I'm tasting some spices that I didn't expect to taste. Not unpleasant, but like I said, if they said this was a cherry pie sour, I would have bought that a lot more. I don't know. I mean, I guess popsicles are kind of hard to put into a beer. It's a very good beer.
Yeah.
Alvarium is a really good brewery. They're on that second rung in Connecticut. They're right below the Fox Farms, the counterweights. They're in that very next section that includes Nebco and includes Alvarium and includes most of the 12% breweries. It's just kind of it's in the upper echelon. It's just not at that ultimate echelon of being Fox Farm or counterweight, and nobody can be them. It's kind of hard to be them. So they did a really good job here. That this is really good. It's a good sour. maybe the rocket pop is slightly different now, but then again, it's kind of hard to put a popsicle flavor into a beer without it being overly sweet, especially if you're trying to make a sour. If you were just going to say, hey, I'm making a fruited beer, okay, I can ride with that, and you could probably get that bomb pop flavor into your beer. But when you go the sour route, I think you're going to end up with some characteristics that, while good, are not probably what you were going for. Overall, though, solid beer. I mean, hell, maybe that spiciness I'm getting on the back end is like maybe they threw some popsicle sticks in here, and that's kind of where that woodiness comes from. Is some of that flavor in there. Overall, I'm going to give this. It's a solid beer. I think it's the second week in a row I'm going to give a beer 4.25, but I think this is right up there. I mean, like I said last week, I think this also probably straddles the 4.5 territory. You know what? I'm gonna give it a 4.5. I think there's no reason to knock this beer. Is it bomb/rocket pop flavored? Maybe not. Are there some flavors in there that I don't get when I have a bomb/rocket pop? Yeah, there are. But overall, great beer. I think that's 4.5. If I could buy more of this, I would, and I would probably drink them the rest of the summer.
Okay. Well, it appears on Untapped that the bomb pop, rocket pop have merged. So out of the 1,109 check-ins that this beer has, what do you think the Untappediverse, how do you think they feel about this beer? What do you think they're rating it?
So I think I will talk through it a little bit more, seeing if I can beat Obert's score here. It's definitely going to be over 4. Alvarium definitely is one of those breweries that has the hashtag hop hype around it, even for their sours and their stouts and everything else they do. Alvarium's also known for doing things outside of the IPAs. I mean, they did the King Cluster and the other cluster nutter that
I forgot that was them. I like those beers.
Yeah, that's them. So they're really good at different styles. So this is probably and their fans are their fans. So they're always kind of highly rated. I don't think they're going to be as high as me. I don't even think it's going to be probably above it won't be above a 4.3, which means it probably won't be above a 4.2. Which leaves me with 0.2 to play with. I'm going to say 4.17.
Okay. Close. Not as close as me.
Okay.
You were right, though. They have a lot of hop hype. They Untapped really liked this beer, and they gave it a 4.24.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's up there. It's a good rating.
That is a really good rating. Damn.
Yeah.
Well,
so, what? I think you could chalk it up to maybe the fact that you waited a year to drink the beer that threw your palate off a little bit. So
maybe, but I mean, even then, that's. I mean, I said it would be below a 4.2. So sours are never highly that rated. This is a really highly rated beer. Good job, Alvarium. Hopefully they put this on sale. I didn't see it go on sale last week. So hopefully they put it on sale soon as like a celebration of the holiday.
Yeah, well, if they haven't sold it by now, I don't think that they would think they kind of missed their window.
That's true.
So
unfortunately. I will say one new thing that I did notice this year about Alvarium is, for whatever reason, they've taken over as being the in-house brewery for the Hartford Yard Goats.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so before it was Hooker, and so they had like the Thomas Hooker Beer Garden where Hooker brewed like the Yard Goats beer for them. It was called like the Goat or something like that.
Is it good?
It was pretty good. It was a pale ale. It was pretty solid.
I would think you'd want a pretty mild beer at a ball game. I think you'd want it to be pretty crushable, as you might say.
Yeah, is it called the Goat? Goat Hooker. So an interesting thing, Nectar of the Goats is what it's called by Thomas Hooker. That was their beer. Apparently it's no longer in production. Apparently I didn't think that high of it. I gave it a 3.5. So that tells you everything you need to know about that. I think I've had it since then and I liked it better. But
that's the Hooker version.
Yeah, so Alvarium, they don't have like a quote unquote beer anymore for the Yard Goats. It's just instead of the Hooker Beer Garden, it's the Alvarium Beehive or Beer Hive, sorry. The Alvarium Beer Hive. So you can go there and you can get, a selection of Alvarium beers. So I was able to get their flagship IPA, Fresh, Phresh, and I was able to get it in a 32-ounce pour, Obert, for $14. which only works out to be
pretty good.
$7 a beer.
Pretty good price for a ball game beer. I would expect to pay that for like a Bud Light, like the aluminum bottle at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, so I was able to get like really, really good IPA for $14, 32 ounces of it, essentially buying 2 cans. But not only that, at the ballpark, you can also get back east and you can get Ice Cream Man.
Okay.
And you get a can of that for $7 as well. They don't have it on tap, they just have it in can.
The 12-ounce can.
No, 16.
Oh.
They put Ice Cream Man in 16-ounce cans now too. So overall, going to the Hartford Yard Goats is a pretty good deal because you can, hot dogs are cheap. They're like $3 a hot dog. Hamburgers are like $4 or $5. You can get popcorn for $4. They have Bear's Smokehouse if you want to get some barbecue. The place is pretty awesome, and you can go there. We got in the door for $10 a ticket.
Wow, very affordable night.
It's hugely affordable. You get great beer. You can't go wrong with 32-ounce IPAs.
No, you really can't.
But yeah, that was
now,
just
did they win when you went there? That's the question.
They did not. They were up, and they lost at the end of the game. It was also steamed cheeseburger night. So we were there. They changed their name to the steamed cheeseburgers for the night. So we all got steamed cheeseburger hats too that have like an angry like cheeseburger on it that's like shooting steam out of its ears.
Interesting. Connecticut will cling on to whatever identity they can, I guess.
Yeah, and it was cool because they were playing the squirrels and they were some other food item, but they were giving away the cheeseburgers. That was pretty cool, and we got to try them, and the cheeseburgers are delicious as always. They were made by Ted's out of Middletown. Fantastic. It was overall a good experience, and you get in and out of the door. If you really wanted to, it could be less than $50, but I don't think we spent more than like $60, $70 for the whole night of eating and drinking and baseball and whatever else. And we got a free hat out of it, or not a free hat, but I got a hat out of it too.
You had to pay for the hat?
No, the hat came with the ticket, but I wasn't going to call it a free ticket free hat because I paid for the ticket.
Yeah, I gotcha. I understand. No, that sounds good. That is one thing living here in Montana is that there's a lack of sports to really root for. We're like, especially where I am, pretty much as far as you can get from any major sports team anywhere. Maybe if I was like in central Montana, that's pretty much as far as you can get from being a Minneapolis or Denver or Seattle fan. It's like they're all the same distance away from me, and they're all incredibly far.
How far are you from Calgary?
Calgary is the closest sports city to me geographically, but it's a different country. So it's like, it's a little harder to root for a Canadian team.
Well, you can only root for their hockey team, and what's more Canadian than
the
hockey?
Flames. Yeah. There's definitely, I see some Flames fans here. There's also a lot of Vegas Golden Knight fans I see.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. I think I might have mentioned this in the pod before, but the owner of the Ski Mountain also has a stake of the ownership in the Golden Knights. So I think that's where a lot of the local fandom comes in as well.
Okay.
But you're not too far from same time zone, I guess. So
you're not too far from Utah, and Utah has the Jazz.
They do have the Jazz.
And then Seattle's your football team, I guess, right? I mean, that's kind of how that works.
Yeah. Well, you see some Seahawk fans for sure, but you also see a lot of Vikings fans. I think there's kind of an even split between those two. I think like the Vikings fandom extends all the way across North Dakota, and then like once you get into Montana, it's a little bit more dispersed.
Okay.
But yeah, Minneapolis is another city we root for here for sure.
You're kind of in like it's college football area up there. I mean,
yeah, we have Grizz fans. There's a big rivalry between Montana State and University of Montana, which is the Grizz versus the Bobcats. So
what's the? Oh no, that's Colorado is the Buffalo, right? Montana doesn't have Buffalo too, right?
No, we don't have a Buffalo team. But yeah, it's very weak sports affiliation here. Not like it was back east at all, where and it's funny too, because growing up where we grew up in Connecticut, it was like we're pretty much exactly the split between New York fans and Boston fans. And
right.
I thought that was normal to like go to high school where like your friends are shit talking each other about their sports teams. And then I go to a place like, you go to Seattle, you go to Boston, you go to New York, and it's like everyone is wearing the same jerseys. And you're like, this isn't fun. Everybody's like, you're just all rooting for the same people. Where's the competition in that? You know? It's like part of growing up was people rooting for different competing teams. And it was like, oh, well, my team is better than your team. If you're in a city where everybody's liking the same team, it's like, that, I don't know, that kind of takes some of the fun out of it for me.
Yeah, it's always fun to argue with your friends about whose team is better. It's very weird to be it must be weird to live up in Montana or Wyoming or like an Alabama where or in Mississippi where it's just a sports dead zone. It's strange.
I feel like southern states, they have they're big into the college ball.
True.
You know, I think that's true. But like, especially the northern, like west and northern west, interior west. There's not a lot, man. There's not a lot of sports.
I feel like the Montana State football team I feel like there's been some decent players that have come from there, but I'm drawing a blank on names.
Yeah, no one really comes to mind, but it's kind of like the opposite problem we have in Connecticut, where like there wasn't really a big sports identity of their own because they just kind of got consumed by the media markets of Boston and New York. So it was really hard for Connecticut to come up with its own identity. It's like there's too much, here there's not enough kind of thing, where it's like, and I mean, you still see people in Connecticut wearing Whalers gear, getting Whalers tattoos for a team that doesn't exist and hasn't existed, like, you know, in my living memory.
That is true. Although there was rumors a couple years ago about them moving a team back to Hartford. I think it ultimately fell through again, but there was a rumor, I think it was the Devils, about them moving to Connecticut to reclaim the Whalers title.
Yeah, there's enough people, but like you said, there's just you're kind of overwhelmed. You can go see a Bruins game in a 90-minute drive. I mean, how much demand is there for another team? But
and then you hop down to the city, and then there's the Rangers, there's the Islanders, and then there's the Devils too, which are in Jersey. So it's
Yeah, but I mean, I guess go steamed cheeseburgers. You have my support, steamed cheeseburgers. Hope you have a very winning season. Make it all the way to the World Series equivalent of AA ball.
I will tell you this, they're kind of terrible.
Yeah. It's a rebuilding year. We'll go with that.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, they're not very good. So just so we're aware, the cheeseburgers are 15-30 on the year.
Oh, God. Yeah, maybe some cheeseburgers could drink from the wisdomy mug of wisdom.
I think they might need a lot more than that.
Tell them how to improve their batting averages.
Might need to buy some batters and some pitchers and stuff like that.
What is their affiliation? What are they the farm team of?
The Rockies?
So no local team at all.
I think it's the Rockies.
Okay.
They used to. So I don't know if you know what happened here, but they used to be the New Britain Rockcats.
Okay.
And Hartford basically smacked New Britain in the face and said, "We're building them a really nice stadium, and they're coming to our town."
Okay.
And New Britain was kind of like, okay. And so that's how they ended up here.
I did not know that, but I did know that they have an obscenely nice stadium.
It's really nice. And it was packed. Like, it was...
Really? That's the most surprising thing you've said about this.
Yeah, there was probably about, 4,000 or 5,000 people there on a Wednesday. I mean, it was nice. Like, it wasn't sold out, but like they did break the record the past two operating, not counting 2020. But for every season they've been open, they have held the whatever conference they're in. They've held the record for the most attendance. So they are getting a good turnout, which is nice.
That is nice. Yeah. And it's not every night that you give away steamed cheeseburger hats, steamed hamburger hats. Are they they're hamburgers. They're not cheeseburgers.
They're both hamburgers and cheeseburgers, but if you get the cheese, it's a mixture of like Swiss and cheddar that like melts over and gooey. It's so good. They called themselves the steamed cheeseburgers. Okay, gotcha. Because I thought that the Lewis's lunch you couldn't get cheese. Yeah, Louis' lunch is not what they were. It was Ted's. I mean, that's what they were. Ted's is famous for the steamed cheeseburger. Louis is famous for being the first hamburger. But I don't think Louis is. I don't think Louis is steamed. I think I think that's cooked over a griddle and served on white bread. Steamed cheeseburger's a little bit different.
See, I never knew. This is outside of my comfort zone. I never learned any of this hamburger, cheeseburger stuff. So maybe it's a topic for future debate on another podcast episode. If you have thoughts on it, if you grew up in New Haven, let us know in the Discord your thoughts on the steamed cheeseburger versus original hamburger debate. Or if this whole conversation has made no sense to you, ask us questions there. Be happy to supply some answers.
They're so good. I recommend anybody who comes to Connecticut, if you want a few food items, that's one of them. Obviously, beer's another one. Pizza, New Haven pizza. But yeah, Connecticut's not famous for much, but we got the food thing down pat.
Connecticut's got some good food. I'll give it that. But so with that, it's time that we pull our Frosty mug of wisdom, the two-handled version, which we used last week. We're going to use it again this week. Pull it out of the freezer, shake the ice off, fill it up with wisdom, life advice, stuff we like, stuff we love, things, advice, wisdom.
Always things.
Always things. Before we get to do that, though, we get to listen to this special song from Jordan, Reg My Podcast. Jordan, take it away.
Test your handle. Test your handle. Test your handle. Test your handle. Mug of wisdom! Drink. Mug of wisdom! Finish that bravado. Chris. Tud. Obert. Popcorn and other animals. Mug of wisdom.
Okay, Jordan, thank you. Check him out. Wreck My Podcast. Send him what you had for breakfast. But in a rare occurrence this week, I earned the triple tally mark. I am
only one tally mark. Only one tally mark.
Man of the people. You know what? We'll see how many are on the board next week. Man of the people.
We all know that you have two currently, and you just earned your third. So
honk,
let the record show.
Put that nice long horizontal tally up there. But it's me. I'm man of the people. I'm basking in my glory.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
At least you're now, you have a little bit of a buffer between you and New Tud and Jenna.
I'm nipping at your heels. You better watch out.
Yeah,
I'm coming for the crown.
I'm a little afraid.
Yeah. Screw my plan of waiting till 2022. I'm going for it now. But no, so as handler McGee here, I'm going to give you the mug to fill up first.
All right. So my handle this week is something a little unique, but it's something that I think most people should use, or maybe not should. Maybe should's kind of hard. But you ever been trying to do work around your house and you're trying to figure out what socket fits on the bolt that you're trying to loosen up?
Yeah, like what size? Is it metric? Is it, English?
Yeah, and you're sitting there and you're just saying, I don't is this 10 millimeters? Is it a quarter? Or is it 5/8? And you're just sitting there and you have to bring 10 sockets with you just to kind of fit to see what gets the right fit.
I really hope your handle is not an adjustable wrench.
No, my handle this week is a universal socket tool.
Okay.
So what it is it's everything below 3/4 of an inch. Inside it's got little metal pistons in it. So as those pistons
or like pins?
Pins. That's a better word. You press this socket against a nut that you need to loosen, the pins get pushed in and the other pins don't. So it surrounds the head of the bolt and you can just loosen it up with only one tool. No more messing around with, do I have the right size socket? With this, you always have the right size socket up to 3/4 of an inch. And it works
it's an
with
adjustable wrench for your socket wrench.
it's an adjustable socket,
Right.
if that makes sense.
It's like the thing that you would the little thing, the toy that you'd put your hand on with all the nails.
Yeah.
You see the outline of your hand, and you
Yeah,
put it on
it's-
your face. Yeah,
it's like
that
that, but-
toy, but it's a socket.
Yeah, it's like that, but for adults in a socket. And once you pull it out, obviously, well, not obviously, but it's spring loaded, so it pushes those pins back, so it goes back to flush.
Okay. What did you use? Did you use this on a project recently?
I did. I do use it. I use it sparingly around the house when I just don't, because I just don't feel about like bringing out my entire socket collection most of the time, because usually I'm just trying to loosen one bolt to do something or tighten one bolt. I don't need to bring out my entire toolkit to rip something apart. So you can get them cheap on Amazon or elsewhere. Harbor Freight, if you live near one of those, you could probably get them for around $10. We'll put a link to an item in the notes, that way you can see it. But yeah, they're pretty cool. I recommend it, or if you need them for bigger, you could probably get them bigger size too. But 3/4 of an inch seems to work pretty well. It actually, at certain points in time, it has been too big, so I've still had to go get normal sockets because it just doesn't fit in like the hole that I'm trying to stick it in. But it's pretty good.
I'm a little concerned about the structural integrity of your house if you're just taking random bolts out of things. It sounds like you're doing a lot of bolt removal, which I'm a little concerned next time I go to use something in your house that it'll be held together correctly. But
Well, so was I. This is why I bought this, so I could tighten bolts all around the house.
Okay. Well, that's reassuring, I guess. Okay, so I'm gonna take the Frosty mug here.
Okay.
Dipping into my well I was in a few weeks ago of cell phone games. This is a kind of a quick one. It's a fun one. It's the puzzle solving, escape the room-esque genre. This was called Rusty Lake Hotel. I got it on one of those deals where they have like free, sometimes they'll like put apps free for a day. Rusty
Right.
Lake, I guess, makes other this is like a game in a series, and Rusty Lake is like the name of the company. But I played Rusty Lake Hotel. There's others out there. I think I beat it in like 4 or 5 hours. Just a simple little, if the year was 2007, this would be called a flash game, and you'd play it on like Newgrounds, and you'd beat it in a day, and you'd be like, that was a lot of fun.
AddictingGames.com.
Yeah, this would be one of those, but that doesn't exist anymore, which makes me sad. But I found this on my phone, Rusty Lake Hotel. I wouldn't say pay more than like $2.99 for it, but keep an eye out for it if it's free, or if you just like to buy some good high quality games. Like I said, my criteria are no ads and no like addicting BS progression mechanics. But this met the criteria. It was quick and easy, and I had a lot of fun with it. Didn't feel like I needed to look anything up for help, but felt rewarded every time I beat the puzzles. It was a good one in that regard.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, Rusty Lake Hotel, or check out Rusty Lake in general.
Is it available on all platforms?
I know it's Android and iOS. I think it might also be available for PC, but I'm not too sure. W's a mobile friendly layout.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I'll put I'm assuming their URL is rustylake.com. I'll put it in the show notes if it's anything different. So
If it's not, that URL is probably porn.
when in doubt, you just have to assume the URL's porn. Now you're gonna make me check rustylake.com. Oh, it's not secure, but no, it is them. It's these guys, Rusty Lake. Yeah. So check it out.
Cool. I will definitely check it out. All right, and so with that, we'd like to thank you all for listening. We'd like to thank the breweries who provided today's beers. I will go first and thank Alvarium for, I'm going to call it Bomb Pop, but we all know that now that it's called Rocket Pop. So thank you, Alvarium, for brewing this beer a year ago. It was delicious.
And I want to thank Imagination for their very patriotic homegrown. Thank you for this delicious farm fresh pale ale.
Please make sure you head over to social media and follow us at DAWF Podcast. Also, make sure you follow the email at dawfpodcast@gmail.com. Also, we did not hear back from Jordan yet about you guys sending him your breakfasts. So make sure you get on that and send them to him. CC us just so you know that you're bugging them there. Also, make sure you head over to Patreon, and for as little as $1 a month, or 25 cents a week, or even 20 cents, depending on the month, you can get some cool content every week. Comes out on Tuesdays, and it's just a little bit of extra drinking alone with friends in your life. Also, make sure you tell your friends, your families, anybody who likes beer about this podcast. And also make sure you head over to iTunes, leave us a rating and a review. And also make sure you head over to Discord and join the conversation over there in real time with us and other listeners. And with that, my name's Tud.
And I'm Obert. And remember, if you're drinking alone, do it with friends.
Or friend.
Or friends. Well, I feel like we're drinking with all of our listener friends.
It's true. But as you've told me multiple times, this is not live. So
it's not live.
So we've only drank with friend.
Yeah, that's very true. But I think it's just good life advice that if you're drinking alone, you should do it with friends. Even if that doesn't really make much sense, if you really dig deep into how the meaning of it.
But what if you were like a split personality person? And then are you drinking alone with friends by drinking alone?
I think so.
Okay.
And if you have multiple dissociative personality disorder, have fun drinking.
Yes, and also make sure that each of you are leaving us a rating and a review. And listening to the podcast individually on different platforms.
Of course.